Jan 20th, 2350. Undisclosed bunker on Earth. The respective military leaders of the United Human Colonies now sat in a bunker watching the replay of the new Emperor of the Altherium Empire addressing his people. The leaders all felt the same worried feeling. The Emperor was spouting rhetoric about the superiority of the Altherium Empire in comparison to the rest of the galaxy, and the need to enslave all those beneath them. How long do our agents think that we have till they are strong enough to mobilize against us, along with our allies, the Republic of Terra and Gilmore fiefdom? General Marcus asked. Around 12 years, give or take a few. That is the best that our analysts can figure out. They also detained our ambassador and seized his office. He is slated to be executed live for the viewing of the entire galaxy, as a spy. Admiral Kishimoto answered. There's not enough time for us to build up enough ships and manpower for us to ensure our military victory. We stand a real good chance of losing this war if it happens, General Kapishov said, while shaking his head in frustration. Well, perhaps not. But I have a scientist in R&D who has a plan, if you gentlemen would hear it out, Admiral Williams said, as she leaned forward onto the table that they sat at. Well, don't keep us in suspense. We are all ears, Admiral Kishimoto said with an arm gesture. Dr. Sanchez calls it Operation Vanguard. It will be our first time making superhuman soldiers that can keep up with and possibly surpass our enemies in terms of raw power. The downside is he needs prepubescent children to train and brainwash into our cause. Also, the augmentations can be dangerous and more than likely kill some of them, Williams said with a look of worry on her face. She had hoped that the others at the table would see their situation for what it is. You want us to condone what? Kishimoto shouted. Only what is necessary for us all not to be enslaved. I know that is just as bad as it sounds, but what other choice do we have? It's maybe 100 lives to spare, close to 1 trillion from a life of slavery, Admiral, Williams said calmly. I hate to admit it, but she is right. What other choice do we have? It's not an issue of raising money, it's an issue of time. Something that we lack and that they can buy for us. How can we sit here and say that the lives of 100 kids are worth more than the lives of billions of others? Marcus said, breaking the tension somewhat. I see your point. I can't argue we are in a terrible spot. It would take us more time just to get the new shipyards built than we have. But I will say this. If this ever gets leaked, we will all be sharing a cell for what remains of our lives before someone kills us, if they don't just do that first, Kapishov said, as he put his face into his hands. What age should they be, Williams? Kishimoto asked with disgust in his voice. He hated the plan, but knew that the others were right. What else could they do? The Empire was larger, with more production capabilities and people that could become soldiers. Hell, they couldn't even do a preemptive strike against the Empire. If they did, the Empire's people would rally, and they would be up shit creek without a paddle. It truly is the only way. 5 to 7 years old, Williams said. Granted. I think that is enough for today. I need to go shower. I feel dirty for what we are doing, Marcus said to the group leaders from the different branches. One more thing. For what we are about to do, I hope that whatever god we believe in, or is out there, will have mercy on our souls. For if the public finds out, they will not, Marcus said, as he got up and walked out of the meeting room in the bunker. Feb 7th, 2350. UHC V 4 from Grace. Kepler System. 4 from Grace. What a fitting name. Wouldn't you agree, Lieutenant Evans? Lynn said. For once I agree with you, sir. What we are committing is definitely a fall from grace. I am starting to wonder who the real enemy is here. Us or the Altherium Empire, said Lieutenant Evans. Me too, Lieutenant Evans. Lynn held up a photo of a 5-year-old boy taken by DMI. He was white with medium-length black hair and missing a tooth. This is our target. His name is Henry Thompson. We are to get him. Luckily, his family lives on the outskirts of Vault. DMI had staked out his family's schedule and found the best time to strike. The mum works at night at the hospital, so she will be a non-factor. The father works during the day and gets himself shit-faced by 2100 Kepler time. He will be a non-factor also. This has to be quick and clean. If the father somehow does wake up, the board said no witnesses. We land at 2200 hours and snatch and grab. Lynn explained the plan, as Evan shook his head. Feb 9th, 2350. Alpha Military World. Alpha Centauri. Henry woke up with a terrible headache. The last thing that he remembered was some mean people grabbing him in his bed and covering his mouth so he couldn't scream. They started dragging him out of his window when his dad came in to start hitting and yelling at Henry, as he did weekly for ruining his happy life. Henry knew that he was a burden that should disappear forever. His dad told him that often, and sometimes so did his mum. So maybe this wasn't bad, but Henry was scared. Henry was especially scared when one of the men made a loud bang with his hand, and Henry's father's head cocked to the side and his body went limp, hitting the floor with a thud. "Rise and shine, recruit! Get your sorry excuse for a carcass off that cot now!" yelled a bald man, who was probably 6 foot tall, spitting on Henry's face the entire time. Henry tried to ignore the man, but his head hurt terribly. The man didn't like that and picked Henry up by the shirt collar and punched him in the gut. "I said up!" the man shouted. One thing was clear to Henry. Just as with his father, if he didn't do exactly what this man wanted, he would cause pain. "From now on, I'm your daddy, and the only voice that you listen to. I am Drill Instructor Vasquez. You have been conscripted into a new program by the UHC Marine Corps. When I tell you to do anything, you will do it. You will answer me with either a yes sir or no sir. Is that understood?" Velasquez asked. Henry nodded his head, only for Velasquez to slap him. "I said you answer with yes sir or no sir. Do you understand?" Velasquez yelled again. "Yes sir," Henry yelled. "Great. Now we will make a short jog to the unit latrine so you can shower and wash that worthless civilian off of you," Velasquez yelled. Henry quickly found out that a short jog was a mile-long jog. As they arrived, Henry saw other kids there just like him. Scared, confused, and missing their friends and family. Henry wanted to cry. He missed his parents. He knew they must love him because they fed him and let him sleep on the floor in his own room. They must love him for no other reason, for they are his parents. As soon as he started to let the tears come, Velasquez shouted at him again. "Trainee, dry that shit up right now! You're in the military, and we don't have time for that!" So Henry did just that. Even though he wanted to cry, and God knows he wanted to, he didn't want Velasquez to hit him again. It hurt. It really hurt. They made their way to the front of the line, and Henry got his ration of soap. Velasquez and Henry went to the showers, and Velasquez showed Henry how to properly wash the blood off of him. Velasquez wasn't a mindless killing machine. He could guess where the blood came from. A parent in the wrong place at the wrong time. "Time for chow, and to introduce you to your new teacher," Velasquez said, and beckoned Henry to follow him. Henry did, and had an almost 3-mile jog to another building. This one looked odd. It is made from metal and looks like it was put up in a hurry. It had a flat roof and only one window. It was also small. To Henry, it looked like it could only fit a few people inside if they packed into it. "Inside, now!" Velasquez shouted, spraying some spit onto Henry's face. Henry did as he was told, and was surprised to find that nobody was in the building. Then a person popped up. It looked like a man wearing sweats and wild hair, and he had a pipe. "Hey kid, how's it going? I am AI Albert, but you can just call me Albert," Albert said. Henry was amazed to see a real AI. Back on Vault, they were just fantasies. Albert will be with you from today till the day you either die in uniform or retire, Henry. He is also your teacher, Velasquez said, oddly not yelling at Henry. That's right. I am also your teacher till an undisclosed date that I cannot tell you yet, Albert said. That's right. I am going to leave you with Albert to get something ready. Listen to him and obey him. Or else, Velasquez said. The threat was real and hanging in the air heavily. Just like that, Velasquez left, leaving Henry and Albert in the building alone. All right, Henry. I have looked over your record from your old school and have created a plan specifically for your education, Albert said. Henry and Albert went over the lessons for the day, and after a while, Velasquez came back for Henry. Henry jogged with Velasquez, or really just tried to keep up with the man, till they reached an open field with a tree that had a bag hanging off of it. All right, maggot! It's time for your lessons in hand-to-hand combat, Velasquez said. He punched the air, and then did a kick. This is how you punch and kick. We will start off like that. And that's what Henry did. They must have spent hours doing that, because Henry noticed that the sun was going down. That's enough combat training for the day. Time for strength training. Yet again, Henry had to move his exhausted body, following Velasquez, to what Velasquez called a gravity chamber. It was a round building that was large and spun to increase gravity. There, Henry did his strength training. All right, trainee, that is enough for the day. Chow time! Now that was something that Henry looked forward to. He moved with the utmost gusto. They went back to the building his little room was in, and went to what Velasquez called the DFAC. Velasquez and he shuffled through the line of other trainees. None of them spoke to him, however. It stung. He felt more alone than he ever has. Eat, Velasquez said. It was an order, with no room for negotiations. It didn't take long for Velasquez and Henry to finish eating. Time to return to your bunk, Velasquez said, and they jogged the mile from the DFAC back to Henry's bunk, which was just a cot on the floor, and now a locker. I'm going to show you how to keep your locker. It has to be done like this every day. If I find it out of order, I will make you run till I puke. Do you understand, trainee? Velasquez said. Yes, sir, Henry answered. Lights out, trainee, Velasquez said, and Henry laid down on the cot. He was too tired to care about the day. He was about to fall asleep when he heard Velasquez mutter something almost incoherent, surely thinking that he was out of earshot. What they are doing to him is wrong. Hell, what they are doing to all of them is wrong. But why make him be alone? Henry soon fell asleep, letting the darkness embrace him.